those who have been here before and have done it. No gimmicks. Integrity. We want to speak with those who have come to this earth to heal truly with integrity. You know, there's a big component of nature that always comes in when I visit the masters, or this is probably the second time, but the fact that nature, a lot of the blockages that we experience come from our being cut off from the natural flow of the universe because we've been so lied to. And it's our responsibility. We can no longer use excuses. We have all of the keys and all of the puzzle pieces to put together the truth, starting with who we are and then going from there. But nature is a big, big part of our relationship to our business or to each other, ourselves. And I'm being again told that we're not spending, or me even more, not spending enough time in nature. And like they're showing me, even your backyard is good enough to spend time out in the sun and on the grass and in nature. Like that's huge for any type of healing. It's like, it's difficult to do things indoors. Like where does it go? I mean, yeah, you have those things that you can do, but part of the elevation of the planet is taking people back outside. Okay, so that's one. And I think that that's exactly why you are driven to do these events. So if you want to know a way to really push it forward or draw the dream in, is to make sure that your events are really an outside affair, a good 50 to 75% of the time. Most of the healing goes on in a place, whether it be in a tent or something, but it is definitely on the land, on the water, on the, the wind, whatever, but it's nature based. Okay. And so also, there's certain things that can't be written down, but your stories can. Maybe not the exact way you do that verbally and by video, as the griot can live. That's what it says, like the griot lives on video. But in writing, it gets perverted. Now, I get that there's energy coming in that says, yes, AI, all that, turning. But for the most part, when a video is being tampered with. It's much more obvious than writings. Mm-hmm. And a lot of your writings have been used to control you even more so. It's the symbols, and then the words, followed up by, like the whole problem, reaction, solution scenario. So you have the tools to unplug from all of that. There's no more excuses as to why there isn't mastery over the universal laws. You know what your problem is, and you know what the solution is. So get on it. All right, so we need y'all's help. How can we, what do we have to do to ask and to receive the help? Well, the help, open yourselves up as channels in a way that is still going to protect your energy and keep your energy, because channeling can be dangerous. It can take a lot out of you. And they're telling me that the way in which Judy says to do it is proper, meaning that the masters speak to the higher self. And I said, well, what about my channeling? You're not channeling. It's when you channel a being that is already stepped on the earth, you are depleted. But when you are channeling energies that are from other places, or they don't have the same, it's a different, I don't know, they're showing me the body doesn't recognize any tear down type of energy. Like, cells recognize other cells and allow them to infiltrate. There's something familiar between them. But if there's nothing familiar between them, that energy is able to go up and off and leave. And you go back to normal. Then they're showing me like the parting of the sea of the water, like maybe that story of the myth, that portal, when you open up and you allow for that energy to come through the portal, you're giving it space to do what it needs to do. But when you put the ocean in the ocean, you can't tell the difference. So that's kind of how they're showing it to me. All right, so what's part 2 of this to help us? So it's like opening up and channeling and really listening. And they're telling me that today was very powerful and that I have cleared out the virus, but there's still some type of virus or belief system that you may need to like let go of. And we have matching pictures here. It possibly could be both of us. Okay, so we cannot have any resentment, rejection, regret towards anyone anymore. That right there is like dying in the water for what we're trying to do. So if you're holding any animosity towards your past, work consciously to let it go. Now, that is not to kick up dirt and dust by connecting or reconnecting with anyone. This is an internal homework, internal assignment.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's still some, both, I guess, matching pictures. They tell you, you're not clean, Jole, you're not clean. So it seems like past relationships where we're really wounded, that is one of the last vestiges of our cleanup. And they say, don't believe, they're like, your generation from Benjamin Franklin on and the founding of America is a bunch of crap. That they're confirming that. Like, there were giants here, there were people that created like these buildings in the Golden Gate Bridge, and they want us to know that if you look at some of the older architecture, you will see how humongous these buildings are. Like, they're not, the stories they tell us about these humongous buildings are part of the reason why it's difficult for us to access the truth of who we are. So we're letting go of that, is letting go of the past, is also letting go of everything that we've ever learned about the existence of Earth and realizing we're babies and to start from scratch. So our imagination is key. Let go of any shutting down that you've ever experienced of your imagination. If you get the spontaneous desire to roll on the floor, and that's what you do, like the whole thing of it's improper to roll in the grass has got to go. Like if you get that's nature communicating with you in a way, is that desire when your foot hits the grass with shoes on or not, and you're like, oh, I want to just sit in the grass, I want to roll in the grass. That's nature telling you your medicine, giving you your medicine. But we don't do that. It's improper. It's it's not what men and women do, but it is absolutely part and parcel of our vitamins and minerals. So interesting. So okay, so that's solidifying that. So what else? And letting go of any resentment, rejection, regret in the heart. Can you help us, masters? Can you get rid of that for us? Can you pull that out of our hearts? Transmute it into positive creative energy for the benefit of elevated planet. And ask and it shall be given. So working in that heart chakra to help us to really have more compassion, love, and forgiveness for those in our past lives without going backwards. All right, the theme of fire comes up, and it's not anything inside of us as much as outside of us. Again, I see this picture of things like burning, and it's as if there's a purging or a cleansing of the I don't want to say mankind totally, but like there is definitely some type of culling of energy. And they were like, yeah, you might hear things about that vaccination and all that shit, but you have to understand that it is all a whole package deal. They can't just shoot you up and say nothing. If they shoot you up and then they give you that, you go through and you hear the news and then you read it and you see it reinforced and then you see the symbols, and then it's a whole cocktail of death. But if you go in like, you know, highest and best, all the benefits, none of the side effects, and you don't believe any of that bullshit, you're going to be okay. The light is going to take care of whatever that booster or shot did.
Yes, I get that.
And I hear that once is enough. Like all that boosting is not necessary. You did what you had to do. You fulfilled that contract, and now it's time to move on and move up to the light. Okay, so that's another thing that comes in. Like no more buying into this plague energy for now. Like it's over for us. We went through that, and we came out the other side. So it's time to continue to move forward. So all that now it's all just propaganda. All right, so they wanted us to know that as well. They are honoring your idea of a cruise ship. Once again, John, we are seeing the boat motif. We're seeing this again coming in as if Elevated Planet has a cruise, or it's like on a cruise, and there's just some theme of a boat energy, of as if we seemingly have to get all of this together, like air, land, and sea. Like it's all of that coming together to elevate. That's what helps heal the planet. Like doing some of these energies on the ground, doing some of these energies at the sea, doing some of these energies in the air. So see, that's what these people know, like Jet Propulsion Lab and Howard Hughes, like they got that. Tesla, they kind of understood at all three levels. But when you're dealing with electricity, they're showing me the waters in the soil, and then the electricity's in like the wind or in the it goes so far, like the oxygen or whatever the cells are in the oxygen or the air that we breathe, the light bounces off of that and expands, right? So it's like, it's interesting how I'm being shown this, but if you just get your ass in nature, things start to like align themselves. Everything just starts to align itself. And that's why they keep you indoors. And that's why your ass stays indoors. You're programmed to stay indoors and to watch that TV. That's the electricity that you're receiving instead of receiving the electricity Mother Earth has to give you. Isn't that amazing?
It is.
That's truly a gift. That's truly a message that I don't take seriously enough. Like not concrete. You know what I mean? That's not what we're talking about. We're really talking about dirt, sand, grass, you know, anything that represents the primordial ooze.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so you heal the body through vibration. Like you need a tuning fork to do that. And so I'm going to reach out to my friend again, but they're like, get somebody that's got like a tuning fork. Like that's how you really heal, is through sound. Healing happens on the earth plane through sound. Like you need to hit symbols and notes in a certain layer succession, and all of a sudden it bonds or binds with the tumor, and then you're at such a pitch that it begins to like break it up and destroy it. And every single thing on this earth can be healed with a sound. That's another secret that they don't want you to know. Sound is so powerful. For some reason, it's taking all the elements into account as well. So electricity, sound, and then you put those two things together, and then you've got traveling through time. So that's interesting. So that's just a piece of, and that's kind of, I think, what Tesla knew. So Tesla was the time travel guru that they knew happened, and he was absolutely raided and pillaged and raped for all of his materials, and it was hidden. Like we can actually go to our parallel lives. There's actually people that do that all the time. And those of us cut off from that, we're cut off from a part of ourselves. Interesting. There's something about carrots. They give me carrots, like, like eat plenty of carrots, and like things that are reds and oranges, and yeah, like reds and oranges for us, like really, really staying in the vein of carrots and beets. And the greens are good. Lots of heart stuff. Very sensitive though, creating a lot of sensitivity and imbalance. This is interesting. So they say we've got to balance that out with some of those reds and yellows. Reds and oranges. But it's like those things have lots of sugar in them, right? So what is it that we stay away from the sugar like that? And so they're like, if you're going to do that and eat crackers and cookies, yeah, it's going to be a problem. But if you just take in these, and I don't know what color a rutabaga is, but that's something that they keep telling me. I'm like, what? That sounds terrible. But that's a vegetable that they say is very healing. They say some of these things that are white and green are good and everything. It's just they're ungrounded. And so those root vegetables ground you, like the red, specifically the reds and the oranges. More of like that's an issue, our grounding. And they're saying that we could get it in food. Okay. Okay, what's another thing to talk about? Fish. And they say that, eat your fish as well. So they're showing me things that are like earth, because those carrots are buried, right? Beets are buried. And then I'm seeing fish. So it's like on levels of this, we've got to get in, or we benefit by getting in all of the elements.
Right. Yes.
You see, we got to get in all of those elements. They're showing me like blue-green algae, stuff like get those elements in so that it creates a sound, it creates a rhythm that your cells respond to and they understand. And this is what can keep us healthy to elevate the planet. Can you give us that desire to do that and take out any of the things that are in, it's a programming. It's as if there are, that there's something about the matrix that rings true in that when I was cleaning out, I knew that there was something connected in the back between our shoulder blades. And instead of there being wings, which what used to be there, now there's hoses and connections and cordings that we can keep being fed this programming that we don't even realize. And before we know it, we're parroting these things that we hear. And they're telling me COVID was the perfect example of that. How people just began to start parroting shit. And no one was really doing the research. And the people that were doing the research were like disrespected or lied to. It was mixed in with propaganda. You didn't know the truth from anything. Be stronger than that. You create your own reality, and you guys are doing a very bad job of creating your own reality right now. But the virus has been cleared and healed. So we want you to move forward in a way that is envisioning the future. You're having to carry this on your back for everyone else. Bottom line, that's all there is to it. You have to understand that you have taken on this mantle. So that means in every way for you to carry this, you have to create it. You have to create the life you want. And you have to know that you are worthy of it. And we, for a long time, failed to know we were worthy. There is a matching picture here, which you and I were going to ask. The masters are telling me they're going to take it away, is that we are opposites. And that's a part of the dysfunctional matching that they're fixing. There's a relationship that you had with your mother, and that made you feel the feminine energy, that made you feel not quite good enough. And then there was a relationship I had with my father that made me feel not quite good enough. And through that seed that was planted, it is growing something amazing, because we don't want other people to feel that energy. We want people to connect and know that they're more than just what other people say or programming or conditioning. There's something in there that's way more important we need to remember. So then it's time to forget, right? Or release or let go. Really, they're saying forget the abuse, forget the trauma, and just remember that you are worthy and that you are tasked with something that is your birthright. It is in you to elevate the planet. So just move forward without the fear, the guilt, or the shame. Okay, can you remove and resolve that from us once and for all? Okay, so now what the masters have done is they've put elevated planet in our chakras, like they've put that egg in our lower chakras, because the upper chakras we know we're good at. We know that, well, they gave you an egg in the center of your head, and then they put one in my throat, so that's good. I guess more than that, but there's some type of execution. And then it's interesting because they overlay our like our souls over each other in a way. They show it to me as if, they put the egg they put it in our lower chakras, and then they put it in our heart, but they put it in my throat in the center of your head.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And then the crown is just open. So it's as if we're sort of one thing, one thing together. I mean, we're whole and complete in ourselves, but then together we create like another key that opens something. So that's really cool. They're showing me like pine trees as well. If you have any type of pine trees or trees that look like that or whatever, that is a very magical place for you to go and us to go, period, and commune with the fairies or just tree energy. So they show us telling me like, go to the trees, like visit the trees. You don't have to do anything crazy, like you don't hug it and you could sit with it, but the tree energy is also very powerful and important for us to elevate and regulate. They tell me to regulate the planet before you can elevate the planet. So part of the events or part of the that is to really plant trees. So every time there's an event, there's a tree planting ceremony. If we're in the ocean, then that we do something to put in the water that is healing for that water. Same thing for the air. You just let out the things, like reinvest in Mother Earth, re-put back things. I don't know how to say that, but give back in a way with each moment, with each time that we come together collectively. And I find that to be amazing. So, all right, this is really good stuff. So this is all ideas in the future, but what can we do right now to raise the vibration and to align elevated planet with its highest good? We're just to bring people together. We're doing it. Like if you build it, they will come. So it's like we're right on schedule with getting together the readers page and the healers page, and we're going to have more people attracted to us. This page is what is going to be that next step. Now they tell me, like, if you're looking at like the triumvirate, it's like a foundation of, what is it? It's like, I think it goes something like intelligence, knowledge, and then wisdom, or not knowledge, understanding, and then wisdom, right? So we're at the understanding phase of our development. So we have the knowledge, right? We built that, you and I, with all that we put together.
Yeah.
Now we're coming in and we're allowing other people to come in to help solidify the understanding. And then we'll get to the top of that pyramid with the wisdom. So LICO is the understanding piece. And then the events, I think, are going to be the wisdom, or us being, the press, the events, that type of stuff. So there's just us putting it together. It's almost as if I see like this, moths to a flame.
Mm,
So, but it's important for us to keep our YouTube channel going. They tell us that. They tell me
right.
that. Like, we've been doing a lot of other stuff, which is good, but that YouTube channel and building content is going to be so, it's like being prepared,
Yes,
being ready.
that's good.
Okay. Yeah, this is good. So that's what they have to tell us for now. And they say, thank you. They've released my energy.